And what will be engraved in history books alongside the cruelty, the brutality of Hamas terrorists is the heroism, the bravery, the resilience of Israelis. Two of many are here with us here in studio now. Levy and Yasmin Prat Avraham. Eli fought in the battles to defend his kibbutz, Mefalsim, and Yasmin really with a survival story that I suggested, I believe that if a screenwriter was to write it, would be dismissed for simply being too surreal. Like no one would have believed it. Yeah. And two of you are here, and we appreciate you being here. 13 days later, you're constantly reliving those moments. Even this interview, and this is what you've mostly been doing, not even trying to get your life back together during those almost past 2 weeks, but reliving those moments. It's brutal.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But in a way, telling the stories, we survived. Both of us survived. In quite a miraculous connection between two families that weren't together. I was fighting with the security volunteers squad in Mefalsim, fending off a group of more than 30 terrorists, and for 3.5 hours without any help from the army.
On your own, out there.
Yeah. We were 11, 12 guys just fighting to save our families. We succeeded, we survived through a terrible and horrifying 3.5 hours, there's no other word for it. When we know that our children and my wife is just 3 meters behind me, and if we will not succeed, it was quite clear to us even before we knew all the massacre that took place, we understood what will happen. And meanwhile, Yasmin was actually kidnapped from the party.
You were in two.
I was in the party.
In two horrific scenes that, from one to another. Yeah, you will tell it way better.
I was in the party, in the festival, and the rockets was started, and we were in the car for. It was our luck, and then we drove up for a few minutes and saw migunit in Kibbutz, near Kibbutz Berry, and stopped there to get a shelter. And we've been there for 20 minutes, and then we start to hear shootings, and people start saying that there are terrorists here. So me and my boyfriend get into the car fastly and start driving, and 500 meters after that we saw pickup trailer. Is a gunshot. So we turn around to Kibbutz Berry, asking for a shelter we knocked up on houses.
And the terrorists were already there.
Yeah, but we didn't know. We didn't know that in that time. So a nice couple let us into their house. We didn't know them, and we stayed in the safety room for 8 hours, and we hear in the WhatsApp and SMS from the kibbutz members that there's kidnapped and Arabs all over, and we lose connection with them. And in 2 o'clock, after we sit in the safety room for 6 or 7 hours, we heard crash on our home, and a lot of screaming in Arab and shooting and stuff like that. And then they start knocking in our safety room very hard and tell us in Arabic to get out, and in Hebrew and in English, all the kind of the languages. And we, for 1 hour, we closed the door, and they didn't.
Oh wow!
Yeah, for 1 hour.
Just held the door for an hour.
And they throw
and
grenades and
on the door.
Blow them.
And at the end, they succeeded.
And then you were taken into
with
another
10 terrorists taken for us to another home, and then we see that we are 12 together, or 30 hostages, with at least 40 terrorists. Most of them was very young, in the 20s. You saw some guys that are 30, 40.
They're commanders.
They're the commander, So we stayed there for 2 hours. In the meantime, one of the commanders saw me like a spokeswoman, and he asked me to call the police. They want to kidnap us. They didn't want to kill us.
They wanted to take you hostage.
Yeah. To Gaza.
Yeah.
So I'm calling to the police with the commander, And
So the commander is just pinpointing you out of the crowd, and you become his liaison to an extent. For hours, he's communicating through you.
Yeah. I'm talking with the police, with them. And
you're essentially helping him to manage the situation.
Yes, something like this. But I still hostages when he don't need me. I'm staying with the others. After 2 hours, the police is coming, and they start shooting our home, and the terrorists also start shooting, so there was a
gunfire.
Yeah, gunfire. And I'm lying down, everybody lying down, the terrorists and the boundaries. And after 1 hour, that all the time was gun down between us, the commandos tell me to come in Arab, Tal. I'm coming to stay with him. He hugged me like this, and
he takes off his clothes.
When we start to go through the house, out to the police, it was 5 minutes, okay? And then he...
5 minutes, as I assume...
Yeah, he was surrounded and take me like a...
Like a human shield?
Yeah, exactly. And everybody stayed there, the other terrorists and the bounders. I'm going to the police, and now I'm here. And
you're here thanks to this...
He just surrendered,
this bizarre connection.
Yeah, and the police also, they have the recorded, and I say this means, so the police told him, when he surrounded, he talked with the police in Arab, so I didn't understand. They told him, go with Yasmin outside.
So you saved not just your life, but the lives of...
No, everybody was killed, for just me and another woman. All the bounders were killed in the gunshot.
No, Ellie,
and my boyfriend also.
In the party, you were there together?
Yeah.
We're hearing this story, and even the terminology we're using, survivors.
That's what we are, actually. Because you just heard Yasmin's story. I was briefing my wife at the beginning of the gunshot we had at the south side of Kibbutz Mefalsim. I was briefing my wife in the protected room in the mamad, because at one point I understood we have a lot of terrorists attacking from the north side, and it may go bad. And I'm actually briefing her. You are holding the door. You are not opening the door. You are not even opening the door if you hear me telling you to open the door. If you don't hear a safe word I'm saying, we designated a safe word from the fear of actually they using me as an hostage to go inside. And the moment after I'm completing the brief, my squad mate that's living just 3 houses to the right of me is telling me, I'm seeing a truck with about 13 terrorists heading exactly your way. It's just you and me alone. I'm rushing to the window, and I'm actually seeing this nightmare in front of my eyes.